J Jinx!
Truck stop!
Welcome to another episode of JJ Jinx Truck Stop Knives. Well, I don't know if you'll find this one in a truck stop, although I have seen knives from W.R. Case and Sons Cutlery Company in truck stops before. It's usually a lot of the they're sod busters, like they're more budgety types. But anyway, I already am digressing. So I was thinking in the past about getting into traditional pocket knives and actually carrying and using them a little more often. And I was thinking that my criteria are the following. Number one, single-bladed. Number two, with some kind of a locking mechanism, preferably a back lock. Number three, probably a drop point blade and something that's very comfy in the hand, of course. And I realized I actually already have a knife that fits all those criteria, and it's pretty nice. From a Smoky Mountain Knife Works mystery box, which came with this cool magnetic stand as well, they gave me one of these. Well, I bought it from them. They didn't give it to me. It's a Case tribal lock knife, and yeah, see, single blade, lock back. I like the aspect ratio of the handle. It's wide in this dimension, thin in this dimension, and it feels great. And it's got a very long cutting edge with a drop point tip, almost leafy or spear point. However, this particular pocket knife is a commemorative version. They're commemorating their dating system, which they have these logos, and then for every year in, they remove a dot. So I didn't really want to start carrying and using this one. So I was like, you know what, I'll look around. Maybe I'll find another tribal lock knife that piques my interest and buy that one. That's when I discovered that Case doesn't make these anymore. I mean, these in particular as well, but tribal locks, they just stopped making them like a couple of years ago. There are some online retailers that still have them in stock. But really, you just gotta go to eBay. And the problem with that is people are charging quite a lot of money for them. I was looking at some of the antique bone handled ones, and they were going for like $100 or $150 or more if it was in really good condition. And well, so I just kind of wrote it off. I was like, you know what? Maybe they'll release it as a vault pattern someday, and I'll get one then. They normally retail for like $80 plus, and I'm not going to pay double for a used one. Then I joined Reddit r/knife deals, and somebody mentioned, hey, there's this company that has a coupon code for quite a bit off. Go check them out. That company was called Domestic. Never heard of them. And I went to their site, and sure enough, they had a tribal lock knife. It was already marked down, and then with the coupon code, which doesn't work anymore, I ended up getting this for $40-something. Now, on the picture here, they show a canoe knife. That's a little confusing. The retail price, or the MSRP or MAP, one of those, it's about $90. So paying $30-something for a $90-something knife was a really good deal. But then I had to ask the question, well, why is it marked down? My question was answered when I opened the package and saw this. They normally wrap their knives in paper that is not ripped and torn or so wrinkly. So I think this might have been a return. And here's why. There's physically not a whole lot wrong with it, except for, if you look on the back here, you've got a bit of a gap between one of the liner pieces and the back lock piece. This is something that you see more and more these days with Case knives. And then based on the dating system, there is a dot removed. And if you use the guide, this was made in 2021. So it is a late model tribal lock. But other than that gap, there's nothing really wrong with it. There's no play. The lockup is fine. The pivot is fine. Oh, the centering is just a little bit off. But it's not colliding. That's not very uncommon with these classic knives. It's, the centering is just a little off. The other flaw I saw, very cosmetic, is the pivot pin, which is through the bolsters, is usually like polished to the point where it's pretty much invisible. And on this particular knife, it's visible. Hard to show it really, but you can kind of catch a hint of a semicircular impression right here. And in real life, without trying to get it to translate to the screen, it actually looks a lot worse. There's a straight up, like, almost a gap in there, just around a little bit of that circle. That's it. Those were the only flaws that I could find. So having it marked down from $90 to $60, and then injecting the coupon code, I could not pass it up. Now the scales are dark gray pocket worn. I kind of catch a hint of blue in it. I've never had a pocket worn case knife before. I'm assuming that's all about the jigging, which is kind of interesting if you look at the way the jigging is just kind of, I don't know, scooped out with those interesting, kind of scratchy looking lines. I guess that's what makes it pocket worn. Or at least that's the way they define pocket worn and how they make it. So I've had a chance to kind of play around with it and use it a bunch, and I freaking love it. This was a good decision. The Case Tribal Lock knife is my kind of pocket knife. I'm really looking forward to having it bang around in my pocket, get all scratched up from my keys, and just kind of get a more broken in look. The polish is pretty outstanding on this piece, and if you feel like it, you can buff it up a little bit every now and then using a little bit of polish paper. I love polishing paper. It's basically like 10,000 grit sandpaper, and it works really well. Let me show you an example. Here's another case knife that I own. I don't remember what this kind of bone is called. It was, I just can't remember, but it's a popular pattern, and it looks kind of cool. I got this knife also from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and you can see on this bolster there's a little bit of a scratch in there. So if I grab my polishing paper, and this is what I do, I just kind of hold it with my thumb real tight and kind of scrape it along like this. You could also just straight up, rub it like so. And if the scratches are not too bad, it doesn't take very long for it to get a really nice shine going. Yeah. So if I keep working on that, and you can see those scratches are already like pretty much gone. And that's all it takes. This polishing paper is really good for just kind of touching it up. Making it shine. Yeah, love this stuff. So I'm going to continue carrying and using this knife, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of doing so, because, man, it cuts like a dream. When you do the dowel test, it feels a little bit rough, but, well, the dowel test is not testing for sharpness, just consistency of the grind, and this is a very consistent slight roughness. But it does cut very, very well. I don't normally do the paper test, but here, I'll just show you. Perfect. And that is the Case Tribal Lock. Thanks for watching. This has been JJ Jinx Truck Stop Knives.